Hey guys, welcome to this video. I'm gonna break down my 2022-23 trapping season. I caught 55 coyotes this year and 8 bobcats, which is really pretty good in my well-populated area, and we don't have a huge coyote population. But I want to break down my successful season so that hopefully you guys can have success on your line as well. I have 4 sets that I've used that have made my season successful. I'm going to share those 4 sets with you in this video here. Hey, before we get started though, make sure you hit subscribe and turn the bell notification on. Okay guys, here are the top 4 producers. We're going to go out on the line and I'm going to show you how to construct these sets. But the top 4 producers, I'm going to put all 4 of these on here along with the numbers in the video. That way you can come back if you want to skip ahead and you can see those sets, you can. The number 1 producer was the cable restraint. The cable restraint is super effective in my state. 42% of my catch was from the cable restraint. I caught 23 coyotes on just the cable restraint alone. I'm probably setting a third to half of my line just in cable restraints. Super effective set. The number 2 was the step down mouse hole set. Very subtle. Early season, it was when I was using that the most. I caught 8 of my coyotes, or 15% on that set. The third one was Jason Vance Set, is what I'm calling it. I learned this out in Jason Vance when we went to our western coyote line out in western Kansas, and I caught 6 coyotes just on that set alone. That was 11% of my catch. And the 4th and final was the step down dirt hole set. So those are the 4 sets. We're going to construct all those sets, and I'll talk in detail on all those sets and how you can make those too. Okay, here we're going to talk about the cable restraint. Now Missouri has a restraint that we can use, that what we call the Missouri legal cable restraint. I'm purchasing this product from DakotaLine. I really like how they come straight out of the box. Nice big circle. I do like how they have the plastic PVC. It kind of works really well for me. It has a breakaway device on that if you catch a deer. These are Missouri legal. Now in Missouri we cannot have any entanglements, so and we can only set a foot away from the fence. So these are really effective, and I like these the most on trail sets or trails leading from one system to another. So I buy the DakotaLine cable restraint. Now this product, along with anything else in this video, I'm going to link all those products so you can purchase those directly in the description down below. I also like to use an 18-inch pogo with the big fender washers. I think these are the 2-inch size. I like it real long, and then I just kind of use a quick link to attach that. And that seems to work really well for me. Now I use a support wire. You can purchase those as well. It's called the pigtail support wire. I think you can buy them in a dozen, and a lot of times I'll make those on my own. So that is the cable restraint. We're going to go out on the line. I'm going to show you guys how to construct an effective cable restraint set to capture coyotes. Yep. Okay guys, I brought you to a good location that I almost guarantee is going to catch a coyote. Now when on the cable restraints, you never know. There's 2 things that I really like about snares or cable restraints. Number 1 is that you can almost always keep that open. The only thing that knocks those down is either the deer or the wind. So you don't have to worry so much about the weather, that freeze thaw like you do your traps. And all you gotta do is just drive by those a lot of times. So those are the number 1 thing that I like about the cable restraint. So I picked this trail here, and why I like this so much, and the location is golden. This is a big thick timber. You can see how thick the underbrush is on there, and there's a really good trail right along the edge of that. So the coyotes, oftentimes they'll be hunting together, or even a single pair will run down this trail. But what I like to think is they hunt this little piece on the side, and then another one will run along the trail. So what I'll do is I'll set right down here where it pinches. And the trail is a little wide right now because it's late season, but I'll set it right here where it pinches. And a lot of times on the cable restraints, once I catch there, I'll move just 5 feet or 10 feet in another direction, and I'll keep catching off of this trail. So really good effective trail set for the cable, and I'm going to show you how I construct that. Okay guys, so I've got my bedding material here that I'm going to blend in. One thing that I will say though is that I don't walk on the trail. I always come in at an angle on the side. I keep all of my, another thing is I keep everything off of my left foot. So I'm going to put all of my gear on my left foot. I'm going to come off the trail. I don't step on the trail at all. And that helps me to keep track of my gear. I'm going to drive the anchor first. I'm going to put it right about here off of the trail. I'm not going to do that today for instructional purposes. Secondly, I'm going to put my pigtail right about here, and go ahead and get that going for you. I like my cables 10 inches off the ground in a 10-inch loop. Just go around the circle on that. Find that little plastic tubing. Now these are already kind of preset for me, so I'm gonna go like that, make my loop, and that's how fast you can set these, just like that. Now it comes down to hiding your loop and getting it just the way you like it on the trail. So I've got the guide on the other side over there. Now I have a piece of rebar and it's marked at 10 inches right here, so I go 10 inches off the ground, so it's a little high. And then a 10-inch loop, so that's good on the loop. And I've always kind of followed that 10 by 10, and I don't get any of those deep flank catches, and it's right in the middle of the trail, just like that. Now once I have it just the way that I want it, you can kind of see how that sits right in the middle of the trail. Now I'm going to use my backing material that I just picked. I don't like a jump stick. Some people call those jump sticks. I call those dive under sticks, because I know that there's going to be deer coming through here, and now all I'm going to do is hide that lock in this pigtail support. Now everything that I do is not perfect, and I'm still learning, like we all are. But this seems to be what works well for me. Of course, that's not going to work. But I go right through the middle of that pigtail like this. But I want to hide that lock. There, that's about it. Now, if I need to, I'm going to blend in a little more on the side and then just hide my cable. It took me literally 3 minutes to run that. Looks really good, nice and blended in. And I don't think I'll blend that anymore. A lot of times I'll blend the sides, but that right there is a good coyote set. Just the lock on the top, 10-inch loop, 10 inches off the ground. That's all you need. Okay guys, that was the effective way to set a cable restraint, and you guys use that and you'll do well too. The number 2 then is the step down mouse hole set. I caught 8 off this set alone. I like to use this one early season. It seems like it's a little more subtle. I use the Dunlaps Time of Death mouse meat, and once again that product description will be in the description down below. And I use coyote urine that I like to buy through Keg Creek Marty Smith. So we're gonna go out on the line, gonna show you how to construct that set and continue on with the video. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of a neat set. I like this set. It's gonna look like a football. I go with the Duke 550, and then I'm gonna show you my, I like the pogo system. It works pretty good for me. Probably about a good 12 inches. There's a how-to video if you need how-to on that. But I'm just gonna start back in here. We're gonna make a hole, and I'm gonna get going on it. And it's kind of gonna look like a football when I get done. I like my mat. It's just me. Okay, so that's pretty much my bed. I might hammer that over a little bit. My hole for my mouse is gonna go right here, and we're gonna raise it a little bit. I'm not gonna anchor my trap, otherwise I usually anchor it now, but that's gonna fit nicely in there. I might bring it back a little more. There's my set. Okay. I have a mouse hole tool. You can use that if you want. Otherwise, a good rebar stake, just like that does, just the same number. And I need it to just kind of look like a little hole. So I'm probably a good 3-4 inches down as my bed. My hole is probably about 1 inch down. I'm gonna try and raise that a little bit and still give it a hole like. You can use this if you want. And I'm going at a 90-degree angle, guys. And I'm going about 5-6 inches in. And that's it. So there's my hole. Pretty effective little set. Now I'm gonna get my trap bedded. All right, so I'm gonna either put dry dirt on the bottom just for today. We're not looking at freezing temp. This is a good effective set in the fall for me. Otherwise I'd be using peat moss or whatever. Of course I'm gonna, I didn't anchor that. I usually would anchor that like this. And then if you want to use latex, or if you want to use a pan cover, I like to use either polyfill's fine underneath, or landscape fabric works really good. I like this landscape fabric. It works pretty good for me. I'll just put it over the top of that. Okay, I pretty much got everything just the way I like it. I got my hole. I have my bedded trap. It's nice and solid. My pan is going to be right here. It's about 4 inches off the hole. I like my sides. Now, if it's not going to freeze, I will sprinkle some of that wet dirt on top. And then I kind of, even for extra, I'll put a little trail here. And I can do that with my, and it gives this appearance like there's a mouse, that's a mouse run. So that's kind of the set. And you kind of see that. There's my set. So now we're gonna bait and lure it. Okay, so I use a dollop of the Dunlaps Mega Time of Death mouse meat, and I just smear it on the roof and a little on the sides back in there, about 4 inches. And then I'm gonna use Urine. Now this is the upwind side. Prevailing wind is usually this way, so I like to spray it over here, and that's gonna be my final set. I'm not gonna do a collar on this one, but that's kind of where I'm going. So that's my final set on the step down mouse hole. Really good, effective set. Okay, that was a really good effective set. Number 3 is Jason Vance's set. Now, I call this the Jason Vance set. I also call it Double Trouble if you watch some of my videos, and I like to really coin it Double Trouble. Jason showed me this set. It's a punch hole set. I use his Final Demise, which will be in the description down below. You can purchase that through Bailey's Trapping Supply. This is his Predator bait. And then I also have his Predator LDC call. I use the two together. I call it Double Trouble. And I'll show you guys how you guys can make this really good, effective set. Okay guys, now we're going to do the Jason Vance set. We're going to use his Double Trouble Final Demise and his Collar LDC, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So we did the step down mouse over here. If I wanted to change up set, I'm just going to set it right off the trail. The good thing about these is you can set these wherever you want. I mean, there really isn't any, you know, just you can set these off these trails. It doesn't matter. All right, let's get to setting this. I changed my mind. I went with the other side mostly because of the shadowing for the filming purposes. But now Jason, when I was out in Kansas, he was using a pack rat hole, but it was so dry out there that we just couldn't set that anywhere. So he was using a punch hole, and the punch hole works pretty well, and I'll share with you guys how that works. I'm gonna use a rebar stake, and that's gonna be my hole. That's what I'm gonna go off of. Mostly I need to get this to where I have a bed. I'm gonna blend this. This isn't really a step down per se, but Jason says he likes to build the sides to where they have to step right here. And that's probably what we're gonna work with. So I'm gonna go ahead and work the bed first. And I'll get that going for you. When I get the bed done, I get my trap the way I like it. Then I'm gonna show you guys how I bait and lure it. Okay, so I have my trap bedded. It's kind of nice and level. It doesn't step down too much. Like the other one was stepping down a good 2 inches. This one's almost kind of level. So Jason would say build kind of the sides. So if you're in a dry area or cattle ground, you could build the sides on these just a little bit. Like it's almost kind of like it kind of has a trench type to it. But that's kind of what I'm going with right now. I do want to blend this one. So I've got my scissors with me and the fluff that I started with. I'm probably gonna shoot myself because then I'll probably forget where the pet trap is, but pan's right here, guys. All right, so there's kind of that blended. Now if you want it to stay, throw a little dry dirt on top of it. That'll help keep it stay. Okay, there we go. It's a little more blended. Now, this is pretty simple. I'm going with probably a good 3-4 inches off of, see, so I'm gonna go probably a good 6 inches from the pan right here, and a little offset. I'm gonna go offset to the left. And all I do is go about 4 inches down, give it a little twist or turf circle. That's where my bait's gonna go, right there. Secondly, I take my hammer and I go just a little bit off to the side and right here to the right. Gonna hammer that down. That's gonna be where my collar is gonna be. And then lastly, I'm gonna put my urine on this side right here. So, let's get started with the bait. I'm gonna use his Final Demise in the little punch hole. And if you want to cover it a little bit, that helps. Probably about an inch in diameter. Secondly, I'm gonna use a nail with a piece of deer hide. That's gonna help hold his lure. I'm gonna push it down. And I put his lure in a little spray bottle. It's gonna go on top of that, just like that. Now, I like to kind of hide it. It's got some skunk in it. I think it's even got a fish oil base, but I could be wrong. I don't know 100% what's all in that, but I do like to hide that a little bit. Thirdly is we're going to use that coyote urine again to the left of that. So we've got 3 different areas for him to step. We've got our bait in the middle, right off the pan. Our collar to the right of that, a couple inches, 3 inches. Pan's right here, and then we've got our urine over here. So we've got 3 different areas for him to step. Really effective set. I call that the Vance Set or the Double Trouble set. So if you watch a lot of my vlogging videos, when I catch a lot of my coyotes, I call that my Double Trouble set. I also caught half of my bobcats off this set alone. Very effective set. It looks subtle, but the odor is what draws them in, and it keeps them there. So that's the Vance Set, my number 3 producer from this season. Okay, that was a really good effective set. Use that set on your line. I guarantee you're going to catch some coyotes. So this is my final set. Now this one here, I do have to say this is my step down dirt hole set. I'm using a product that is really hard to get. It's by by Apple Roads. Cletus Richards sells this. It's his custom blend. You have to buy it in a gallon. Usually in September of the year, he'll make a large batch, and then that's the only time it comes available. So if you can find it, it's really good stuff. It's got double glands, double skunk, and it's really good stuff. It's a little pricey, but with any luck, you'll be able to get a hold of that. So it's Cletus's custom blend. That goes down in the hole. And then I like to use Restraint's Fatal Step, or Fatal Breath, I'm sorry. So I use that as my collar on the side, and I'll show you guys how I construct that set. Okay guys, so here is the last set in this video. I'm calling this a step down dirt hole set. It's just a common dirt hole, but the location does work really well for me. I got the different system here. You've got this that comes this way, and it just kind of ends right here. So you can see that I've been catching. This is the spot I've been catching. They've been digging for the last of that bait and lure. Okay, so I did move this around a little bit, but I usually will start with the hole first. I kind of a creature of habit, so I'm just gonna go with my hole here. At a 45, that'll get it started. And I have a drill for this. Now the 40. I try not to go too deep. The 45 makes him work it from this angle over here. So we're just gonna go like that. And I'm gonna get my bed. It's gonna be right here. Yeah, I pretty much have my trap bedded for you guys. Should be nice and solid. Pan is right here. I went with dry dirt with a little bit of wet dirt on top. Now this would be kind of where Vance would say you could build in the sides. You don't have to, but it probably does help. I'm stepping down about 2 inches on that set. And that's kind of how the trap looks. Bedded. I'm going to go with this nice dirt-like look to it. Building in the sides. Now, that's kind of about where I'm at with this set. I like the way it sits. Like I said, here's the pan. It's probably a good 6 to 8 inches to build in the sides. That's where he has to step down. Now, here comes the luring part. All right, so I go with the custom blend by Cletus. It has a bobcat type meat base in the hole. I spread it around the top piece there. Get it in there good. Now, this is kind of the secret, my secret to the set. I like to use a piece of cow dung, just like this. It kind of hides it. And then on the right side, pretty similar to the Vance set we just saw, I'm gonna put my deer hide here with my nail, like that. And I'm gonna use 1 drop of Fatal Breath. I usually like this on the upwind side. Just 1 drop, that's all I need. And then I like to, my secret is, I like to hide it. So I take a little bit of duff and I go over the top of it, just enough to calm that down. And you could do that with grass, it's fine too. But I've noticed that in the times past, when I missed, was just doing that one, was able to draw them 30, 40, probably get 40 yards. Just the 1 drop, and that was what they kind of came in and worked. So that's kind of the set. If I wanted to, I could put some urine on the side, but I just go with those 2. Custom blend in the hole, 1 drop of Fatal Breath over here on the side. Pan right. Okay, that's what the set looks like from the distance. You can see the cow dung, step down, dirt hole. Real effective set with that 1 drop of Fatal Breath kind of hidden on the side. You can box them in a little more if you want, but that's the set I'm going with, and that's what set I'm using. That's what catches. Hey guys, I hope you guys liked that video. I was sharing with you the successful strategies that I use in my 22-23 trapping season. Caught 55 coyotes, 8 bobcats on these sets. And get out there, use these sets, and you're gonna have some great results. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit subscribe, click the big bell notifications on, otherwise click the big thumbs up, helps me out a lot. I'm Jinx, and have a great day.